The science of gratitude and the morning mindset is far deeper than a simple act of saying, "Thank you." It is a powerful psychological and spiritual process that reshapes the brain, transforms emotional patterns, and redefines the way we approach each day. When a person begins the morning with a conscious moment of gratitude, they are not only aligning their thoughts with positivity, but also programming their subconscious mind to perceive life from a higher frequency. Science calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Every time you express gratitude, you are rewiring your mental circuitry, strengthening the areas responsible for joy, focus, and resilience. Gratitude activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain linked with decision-making, optimism, and self-control. It also triggers the release of dopamine and serotonin, two neurotransmitters responsible for happiness and emotional balance. This means that the simple act of starting your morning with a few words of thankfulness has a direct biochemical impact. You are literally changing the way your brain feels and functions. The body follows the mind, and so a grateful mindset naturally leads to calmer breathing, lower heart rate, and reduced stress levels. People who practice morning gratitude consistently experience lower levels of anxiety and higher levels of purpose-driven energy. It's not superstition, it's neuroscience in action. From an educational perspective, gratitude can be viewed as a form of mental conditioning. Just like athletes train their bodies, the mind too can be trained for positivity and endurance. When you wake up and immediately focus on what's wrong, your worries, unfinished work, or fears, you are conditioning the mind to expect struggle. But when you start your day with gratitude, you teach your mind to notice possibilities instead of problems. Over time, this habit becomes your automatic response. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You develop a kind of emotional armor that protects you from negativity throughout the day. Another important dimension of gratitude is its influence on perception. The world we experience is largely filtered through our internal dialogue. Two people can go through the same morning, rain, traffic, delays, and have entirely different emotional outcomes. The difference lies in perspective. The grateful person sees the rain as nourishment for life, the traffic as a moment to breathe and reflect, and the delay as an opportunity for patience. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into meaningful lessons. This mental shift does not happen by accident. It is built through consistent daily practice, often beginning with the first thoughts upon waking. Educators and psychologists often emphasize the importance of early day mental framing. The first 20 minutes after waking are known as the brain's theta window, a state of heightened suggestibility. Whatever you feed your mind during this time becomes the foundation for the rest of your day. When you fill that space with gratitude, thinking, speaking, or praying words of thankfulness, you are essentially programming your day for peace and productivity. The gratitude spoken in the morning echoes subconsciously throughout the day, guiding your reactions and attitudes even in challenging moments. This practice also connects to emotional intelligence. People who consistently express gratitude demonstrate greater self-awareness and empathy. They tend to handle conflict more calmly and think more clearly under pressure. Gratitude broadens your emotional range. It helps you feel deeply without being overwhelmed. It gives you the emotional strength to appreciate what you have while still striving for improvement. In this way, Gratitude is not passive. It is an active force that fuels ambition with contentment rather than frustration. Spiritually, if beginning your morning with gratitude is like tuning an instrument before a performance, you align your inner world before stepping into the outer one. You acknowledge the unseen blessings that often go unnoticed. The breath that sustains you, the sunlight that warms you, the mind that allows you to think, and the heart that continues to beat. This awareness builds humility, and humility creates space for peace. When you carry that spirit of thankfulness into your day, your work becomes more purposeful, your relationships more compassionate, and your decisions more grounded. Ultimately, the science of gratitude and the morning mindset teaches that happiness is not something we chase, it is something we create. If each morning presents a fresh opportunity to renew your thoughts, rewire your brain, and reconnect with what truly matters. The practice is simple but powerful. Wake up, breathe deeply, and give thanks. Thankfulness for life itself. Thankfulness for the chance to grow. Thankfulness for the strength to begin again. When this becomes your morning ritual, your entire day transforms, and so does your life. Gratitude as an anchor in uncertainty is one of the most transformative mental disciplines a person can develop. In a world where unpredictability is constant, fear and anxiety often take the first seat in our mornings. Many people wake up already carrying the weight of yesterday's problems, projecting them into a day that hasn't even begun. But when gratitude becomes your starting point, it acts as an inner anchor, a stabilizing force that keeps your mind steady, your heart centered, and your spirit calm, no matter how turbulent the world becomes. Gratitude grounds you in what is real and present, pulling your attention away from the chaos of what could happen and redirecting it toward the beauty of what already is. If from a psychological perspective, gratitude works like an internal balancing mechanism. The human brain naturally leans toward negativity, a phenomenon known as the negativity bias. This is an evolutionary trait designed to help us detect threats, but in modern life, it often causes unnecessary stress. When you intentionally express gratitude each morning, you override this bias. You remind your brain that not everything is falling apart, that even in the midst of uncertainty, there is still good around you. The mind cannot hold fear and gratitude at the same time. One always overpowers the other. When you focus on thankfulness, fear begins to lose its voice. Gratitude in uncertain times also shifts your energy from control to trust. So much of human stress comes from trying to control outcomes that are not in our hands. Gratitude teaches acceptance. It allows you to release what you cannot change and focus your energy on what you can. Instead of being consumed by what ifs, you begin to find peace in what is. This mental realignment transforms challenges into lessons and obstacles into opportunities for growth. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That single shift in mindset turns uncertainty into wisdom. In education and leadership studies, gratitude is often linked to resilience, the ability to recover from setbacks and adapt to change. People who practice gratitude regularly are more solution-oriented because they approach problems with a calmer, clearer mind. When gratitude becomes your default reaction, uncertainty no longer paralyzes you, it prepares you. You develop mental flexibility, the capacity to pivot, learn, and adjust without losing balance. Gratitude strengthens emotional stability and emotional stability becomes the foundation of rational decision-making. Spiritually, gratitude under uncertainty deepens faith. Not necessarily religious faith, but trust in the unfolding of life. It helps you recognize that every day is not guaranteed, and that realization awakens appreciation for the small things you once took for granted. The warmth of the morning sun, the sound of a loved one's voice, the simple fact that you have another day to try again, all become sacred moments when seen through the lens of gratitude. It is in the moments of uncertainty that gratitude becomes most powerful, because it teaches you to rely not on circumstances, but on inner peace. In practical terms, if beginning your day with gratitude might look like this: before you check your phone, take a deep breath and say silently, "Thank you for this day." Think of 3 things, no matter how small, that bring you comfort or joy. It might be your health, a friend, or even the chance to improve. This practice, repeated daily, trains your subconscious to seek light even in darkness. Over time, your emotional state no longer depends on whether things go your way, because your gratitude isn't based on conditions, it's based on awareness. Uncertainty will always exist. The economy may shift, people may change, and challenges will come. But gratitude keeps you anchored amid the shifting tides. It reminds you that peace is not found in perfect circumstances, but in a grateful heart. When gratitude becomes the lens through which you see the world, fear loses its authority, and uncertainty transforms from an enemy into a teacher. Each morning you begin with gratitude. You declare silently that you are ready, not because you control the future, but because you trust that whatever comes, you have the strength and grace to face it. The power of spoken words and intention is one of the most profound forces shaping human experience. Every word we speak carries energy, vibration, and direction. It either builds or breaks, uplifts or diminishes, heals or harms. When we begin our mornings with words of gratitude, faith, and purpose, we are not simply speaking into the air, we are programming the atmosphere around us and the mindset within us. Words are like seeds. What you plant in the morning often determines what grows throughout the day. If you speak words of frustration, fear, or doubt, those seeds multiply into more of the same. But when you choose words of gratitude and positive intention, you set in motion a ripple effect that influences how you think, how you feel, and how you respond to life. From a psychological standpoint, spoken words are commands to the subconscious mind. The human brain doesn't differentiate between what's real and what's repeatedly spoken with emotion. It accepts it as truth. That's why affirmations and morning prayers are not superstitious rituals, they are neurological tools. When you wake up and say, "I am thankful for this new day," or "I am ready to grow and learn today," your subconscious mind begins to align your behavior with those statements. You start noticing opportunities instead of obstacles, solutions instead of problems. The language you choose each morning becomes the lens through which your brain interprets the world. In educational psychology, this is linked to a concept called self-verbalization, where speaking positive words to oneself reinforces cognitive patterns of success. Your voice becomes your internal teacher, guiding your focus toward what truly matters. When you speak gratitude out loud, it strengthens emotional regulation, calms the nervous system, and builds confidence. This is why many successful individuals use morning affirmations. They understand that words shape perception, and perception shapes reality. Spoken gratitude also carries a social dimension. The way you speak in the morning doesn't just influence your inner state, it affects how you interact with others. When you start your day with thankful words, you naturally carry a gentler tone, a more patient attitude, and a warmer presence into your conversations. People can sense when your energy is aligned with appreciation rather than anxiety. Words of gratitude have a contagious effect. They inspire kindness and create an atmosphere of peace around you. The simple act of saying, "Thank you," or expressing appreciation to someone can shift not only your day, but theirs as well. There is also a spiritual dimension to spoken intention. Across cultures and traditions, the spoken word has always been regarded as sacred. Ancient teachings describe words as creative power, the ability to call things into being. In a more practical sense, this means your words are instruments of manifestation. When you declare your intentions each morning, words like, "I am strong," "I am calm," or "I am grateful," you are not pretending. If you are proclaiming your potential, the morning becomes a moment of alignment between your inner purpose and your outer reality. Every morning, the world waits for your words. The atmosphere around you responds to the energy you release. Speaking gratitude and positive intention in those first few moments of wakefulness is like setting the coordinates of your day. It determines whether you will drift aimlessly through events or navigate them with clarity and calm. The words you speak create emotional momentum. They pull your mind toward the vibration you choose. If you begin with complaints, you tune yourself to resistance. If you begin with gratitude, you tune yourself to abundance. When you intentionally fill your mornings with words of power, gratitude, peace, confidence, you are taking authority over your day before circumstances have a chance to define it. Life may still bring challenges, but your spoken intentions act as an anchor. They remind you who you are and what you are capable of, even when things get difficult. Each morning becomes a rehearsal for greatness, where your words become both your shield and your compass. Over time, this daily discipline reshapes your identity. You begin to embody the very words you speak, living each day not as a reaction to the world, but as a conscious expression of purpose and gratitude. Emotional intelligence through thankfulness is one of the most vital yet often overlooked aspects of personal growth. Gratitude is not only a spiritual or moral virtue, it's a psychological skill that shapes how we perceive ourselves, others, and the world around us. When practiced consistently, it becomes a training ground for emotional intelligence, teaching the mind how to interpret feelings, manage stress, and communicate with empathy. The person who begins their morning with gratitude is not merely expressing politeness, they are regulating their emotional state, setting the tone for every interaction that follows. Gratitude refines emotional awareness. It tunes your heart to recognize calm over chaos, appreciation over anger, and purpose over pressure. In psychological terms, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions while also recognizing and influencing the emotions of others. Gratitude strengthens both sides of this equation. When you pause each morning to give thanks, you are practicing emotional regulation, the ability to stabilize your mood before the world tests it. Gratitude lowers cortisol levels, reduces impulsive reactions, and improves patience. You no longer move through the day reacting to every difficulty. You respond with balance and clarity. When gratitude becomes your emotional foundation, It creates a quiet strength that shields you from negativity. You begin to understand that peace is not the absence of problems, but the mastery of reaction. Gratitude also nurtures empathy, the cornerstone of social intelligence. When your mind is focused on appreciation, it becomes more attuned to others' feelings. You start to notice small gestures, to listen more deeply, to forgive more easily. A grateful person naturally radiates understanding because they operate from a place of abundance, not scarcity. They don't feel threatened by someone else's success or happiness. They celebrate it. That shift transforms relationships at every level, at home, at work, and in community. Gratitude softens judgment and replaces criticism with curiosity. Instead of asking, "Why is this person like that?" the emotionally intelligent mind shaped by gratitude asks, "What might this person be going through?" That subtle difference turns conflict into connection. From an educational standpoint, gratitude acts as a developmental tool for emotional maturity. Studies in emotional psychology show that individuals who journal or express gratitude regularly display higher self-awareness and lower emotional volatility. They become more consistent in their decision-making and more resilient under pressure. Gratitude enhances reflective thinking. It helps you observe your emotions without being consumed by them. Each morning, when you take a moment to appreciate what you have, you are strengthening the neural pathways responsible for calm and compassion. Over time, this habit rewires your emotional responses. You no longer live at the mercy of your moods. You lead them. On a deeper level, thankfulness cultivates humility, a key ingredient of emotional wisdom. It reminds you that not everything good in your life came from your own effort alone. There were helping hands, unseen blessings, moments of grace. This recognition softens pride and opens space for connection. Humility creates harmony because it removes the illusion of self-sufficiency. Gratitude teaches that emotional strength doesn't come from control, but from surrender, surrendering the need to dominate every outcome, and instead learning to trust the process of growth. The practice of morning gratitude is a simple yet profound emotional exercise. By consciously naming what you are thankful for, you stabilize your inner climate before facing the outer world. It could be as small as appreciating a quiet morning, a loved one's smile, or the opportunity to begin again. These moments of acknowledgement train the mind to notice light, even when surrounded by shadows. Emotional intelligence thrives in such awareness. It grows in the soil of consistent thankfulness. Ultimately, gratitude transforms emotional intelligence from theory into lifestyle. It teaches you to navigate emotions not as storms to survive, but as waves to understand. It reminds you that every feeling, joy, sadness, fear, excitement, has a message, and gratitude helps you interpret that message without losing balance. When you carry this awareness into your day, you become calmer in conflict, clearer in decision, and kinder in speech. Gratitude does not remove challenges, but it equips you with the intelligence to face them gracefully. It makes you emotionally steady in a world that is often unpredictable. To live with gratitude is to lead with wisdom. To wake each morning with a thankful heart that says, "I can handle today because I begin it with peace." Gratitude as a catalyst for creativity and success is one of the most empowering truths of human psychology. While most people associate creativity and achievement with talent, intelligence, or hard work, the real fuel often comes from emotional alignment, and that alignment begins with thankfulness. Gratitude clears the clutter of negative thought patterns, making room for inspiration to flow freely. A grateful mind is an open mind, and an open mind is the birthplace of creativity. When you start your day by acknowledging what you already have, you naturally expand your capacity to imagine what more can be created. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is possible, from limitation to potential, from survival to innovation. Scientific research supports this. Studies in positive psychology show that gratitude increases dopamine activity in the brain, the same neurotransmitter responsible for motivation and learning. This chemical shift enhances focus and cognitive flexibility, two of the most critical elements of creative thinking. When you feel thankful, your brain moves into an expansive state, which allows you to see patterns, make connections, and generate ideas more effectively. Creativity, therefore, doesn't just emerge from talent. It thrives in an environment of appreciation. The more you celebrate what is working, the more solutions you see for what isn't. Gratitude doesn't just make you feel good, it makes you think better. In the pursuit of success, many people fall into a cycle of restlessness, always chasing the next milestone, always comparing themselves to others. This constant striving creates mental tension that blocks creative energy. Gratitude breaks that cycle. It teaches you to pause and recognize the progress you've already made. That moment of recognition becomes a powerful motivator because it reminds you that growth is already happening. Gratitude allows ambition to coexist with contentment. It's not about being complacent, but about drawing strength from appreciation rather than dissatisfaction. When you operate from a grateful mindset, success becomes sustainable, not stressful. You're no longer driven by fear of failure, but by joy in the process. From an educational perspective, gratitude acts as a mental filter that enhances focus and problem-solving ability. When you focus on what's good, you engage the prefrontal cortex, the rational, strategic part of the brain. This enables clearer thinking and better decision-making. Creative breakthroughs often happen in moments of calm, not chaos, and gratitude creates that mental calm. Think of gratitude as mental decluttering. It removes unnecessary emotional noise, allowing original thought to emerge. Many great thinkers, artists, and innovators have attested to this truth. When the heart is thankful, the mind is free. Gratitude also nurtures perseverance, which is a silent form of creativity. Every act of innovation, whether artistic or practical, requires patience through uncertainty. Gratitude gives you that patience. It helps you view obstacles as opportunities for refinement rather than reasons to quit. A grateful mindset transforms failure into feedback. You begin to ask, what can I learn? Instead of, why did this happen to me? This kind of thinking turns setbacks into stepping stones, allowing creativity to evolve rather than collapse under pressure. There's also a deep connection between gratitude and inspiration. Thankful people tend to be more observant. They notice details others overlook. They see beauty in the ordinary, potential in the overlooked, and meaning in the mundane. This awareness is the essence of creativity, the ability to perceive value where others see none. Gratitude heightens that sensitivity, making every moment a potential spark for a new idea, solution, or vision. When you start your day by appreciating what already exists, you tune your creative senses to the frequency of possibility. In success and leadership, gratitude creates the emotional environment where creativity thrives. Teams led by grateful leaders report higher motivation, better collaboration, and more innovative ideas. Gratitude fosters psychological safety, the sense that it's okay to take risks and share new thoughts. When people feel appreciated, they stop fearing mistakes and start experimenting freely. In that freedom, success grows naturally. Ultimately, gratitude is not just a moral virtue, it's a performance enhancer. It elevates thought, fuels inspiration, and sustains momentum. When you wake each morning and choose to say, "I am thankful for this opportunity to create," you ignite the mental chemistry of innovation. You become a magnet for new ideas because your mind is no longer clouded by scarcity. Gratitude transforms success from a destination into a daily experience. It turns work into worship, effort into art, and progress into peace. To begin each day with thankfulness is to unlock the limitless creative power already within you.